私たちアンキラ歌います。もう歌うの？歌うよ。じゃあ準備。それよりさ、アンキも食べたくなってこない？アンキも食べたい。違う、アンキラだよ。アンキもアンキもアンキもアンキもアンキラアンキラアンキラアンキラアンキもアンキもアンキもアンキもアンキラアンキラアンキラアンキラアンキもアンキラもうどうなってんの？
Hello everyone, my name is Notepad Anon and I write games for fun. So what are we doing today? Well, today we're going to be working on, this, Monster Girl Adventures. A clever title here. I don't have a title for this game yet, but I need to get one. Generally speaking, on Monday, I sat in front of the screen for 2 hours and debated with myself on what the fuck to do for this particular game. And I thought about it quite deeply, in fact. I thought quite hard. And I managed to put something together. And I put something together pretty, well, not good. Of the three schools of thought that were proposed. You're here. Of the three very distinct schools of thought and schools of thinking that I was going to employ, I decided on one last night. And that one was... it was... comfy. Now, here's an explanation of why I decided to go comfy. There's 3 reasons. 1. My friend, I consulted my friend, the Monster Girl lover himself, and I asked him what I effectively asked KC. Like, hey, in your ideal Monster Girl story, what is the focus? And he effectively, and even said in his own words, it is the Walgreens version of Monster Musume. So I said, okay, cool. And I thought about it a bit, and using him as kind of an idea, I looked into things. I thought about it for a bit, closed my eyes, and I said to myself, what is a Monster Girl story at the core of things? Monster Girl story at the core of things is, I want to fuck a monster girl. That's just what it is. If you want anything more elegant or eloquent or nice and fluffy, there isn't going to be in there. That's what 95% of these fucking stories are about. It is about the desire for one man wanting to either fuck a monster girl or a various group of monster girls wanting to fuck one man. This is just how these stories go. Very intelligent. Now, there are, of course, exterior ones. I'm not going to lie. You can also have Monster Girl Yuri, for example. I've seen it before. It's pretty decent. Not a lot of it, but it's there. You can also have various other... but the core concept remains the same. There are monsters. There is a protagonist. everybody wants to fuck. In the most PG version possible, it's still a desire for a relationship to occur. The romance is more important. The idea behind the characters interacting with one another is far more important than anything else. So, leads me to point 2. I looked at it and I really thought about the mechanics of which. And I really thought about what I was going to have to do for all of them. Maintaining the Monster Girl Encyclopedia aspect of things, going a full 100% on Monster Girl Encyclopedia and all Monster Girl Encyclopedia related things, was going to be nightmarish. Because I was going to have to implement the tier system that was recommended, and that doesn't work. And I was going to have to obey the... I want to word this. I was going to have to obey the fact that it is a Monster Girl Encyclopedia game, which was kind of complicated, dealing how it didn't really want to work that way. Monster Girl Encyclopedia is a terrible fucking setting to run a game in. It's a great Coomer setting, mind you. It's a great setting to set things a me want fuck thing. Awesome. Cool. That's perfect. Go for it. 100% behind you, boo-boo. Right there. However, to actually run a game in it, the problem is there isn't actually really that much detail. There's a lot of either overt detail or there is broad detail. We know that how the Demon Lord operates. We don't know what an individual city looks like. That there aren't really no concrete details like that. Well, you should just come up with them. That's usually the response. But at that point, you're just adding things. You're adding fan canon, which was where Monster Girl Adventures kind of deviated too far from the norm, was that there became so many exception cases because of in my version of Monster Girl Encyclopedia, this. In my version, this. You also end up with one issue where most of the monsters end up being the exact same. Even if we do something let's do probably one of the... we'll use a white, for example. Try not to find any pornography. Whites are going to, in 99% of the case, going to look like this. In fan art, in artwork, in official art, in fan art, they're going to look vaguely similar to this. Most Lamia are going to look vaguely similar to this. You even see like this. Because that's what the associated artwork is at the end of the day. That's what it is and what we have to work with. Even down to things like vampire. We understand that this is how the vampires work. However, we also have to understand that there are the Danthir, which are a very unique case in Monster Girl Encyclopedia, which they are literally a natural born from a vampire who is also a half vampire. It's never explained why that's the case. It's never explained why that is the detail. It just is the detail. That's just something we have to accept. However, there isn't much deviation when you go too much. And that's one of the biggest problems with Monster Girl Encyclopedia. Nobody really wants to deviate too far and really kind of push some boundaries. Whites are one of the ones I've seen push pretty far, but not much else. Most end up being the exact same. Now, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, come the fuck on. Here's the artwork. I like the artwork. I want to mimic the artwork. That's not exactly a fucking amazing revelation at all. So, that kind of... It didn't work very well for a setting. However, going bloody, I realized, deviated too far from the actual pitch, the actual concept of the game, which was a Monster Girl adventure. At that point, it became a combat game with Monster Girls on top of it, which didn't really work as well as I was thinking in my head it would be. And I thought about it some more. I'm like, this isn't working. And even that discussion I had with people on Monday, kind of put it in perspective, which this isn't going to work. This plain flat does not function the way I was thinking it was going to. So I kind of sat back and I scrapped it. It just didn't work. And that really only left my thinking on 3. The idea of 3 was that, well, truth be told, it's going to be easier. I'm not lying when I say, maintaining the Monster Girl Encyclopedia, I could do it. It's just going to be a hellishly long adventure of me literally just statting out individual monsters. There's going to be no balance. There will be no... Give me 1 second. Give me a fracking phone call. every time I start streaming. Well, okay, back to my original. But the third point why I chose comfy was simply because it's easy. Maintaining the MGE, the issue with that was like just raw time and effort going into it. I was going to have to stat out every monster. That was the resolution for MGE proper, what I made, which was I'm going to sit down and I'm going to stat out every single monster I can. Which was going to be, and I quote this in the nicest way possible, hellish. Mostly because I was going to have to implement a tier system of some kind. Like, this is a tier 1 monster, this is a tier 2 monster. And I didn't want to do that. Why, Notepad? Why didn't you want to do that? Well, because that was going to be AIDS. Because there's exception cases. And it was going to be like, well, here's a kobold. You gotta stat out what the kobold does. Oh, but this is a hellhound. You gotta stat out the hellhound. Well, why don't you just increase the stats slightly? Then what's the fucking purpose? Then there's no purpose to the tier system. Well, yeah, there stops being a purpose to the various tier systems simply because you can just adjust the stats slightly. That doesn't matter anymore. So, like, why bother having a tier system in there and begin with and be like, well, what Wrath and Glory does it? And yeah, Wrath and Glory system is fucking stupid. I like the idea behind Wrath and Glory. I don't like the execution behind Wrath and Glory. I feel it's a little bit wonky. So, and going bloody, it would be like I'm writing a combat game at that point. It's a completely different fucking game and a completely different idea. So it's like, why bother? So kind of going comfy was the only, it was the only solution left available to make this game function. So here we are. We're going to make the game comfier, and that means we're going to take everything and pull it back. It's exactly what we need. It's at the core, at the end of the day, I don't need a lot. Because this game is going to be mostly about conversation. It's going to be about role play and characters being in a situation. You can also hear a wonderful set of noises as I adjust and sit more comfortably. What we need more than anything is just a resolution system and a way to actually use said resolution system. Actually, this is one of the very few cases where I'm not actually using the base version of the game. I am using this is the one that is still going to be located on the site, and I'm going to mark it as different. I'm going to there's going to be 2 files and 2 points on the website, which is going to be Monster Girl Adventures Old, or until I find like I might call it MGA Classic or something. With all the jank, there's going to be no changes to this. This is it. There will be no more changes. Fuck off, please. There's going to be no changes. There's going to be no edits to this going forward. Everything here that is here is going to stay, and there will be nothing different. I will not change a single thing from MGA Classic. You know what? I'm going to even call it here. MGA Classic. Monster Girl Adventures Classic Edition. Now I'm going to put true in it anymore. It's just going to be the Classic Edition. And this is, if you want to play the Classic Edition, here it is. Right for you. Everything you could ever want. There's going to be no more change. There's going to be no edits. I will not assist anybody with this game anymore. We're going to be doing with this one. Monster Girl Adventures. I need to find a clever title for it. But generally, what we need to do is scrap. I'm going to be honest. That's what this entire stream is going to be. This stream is going to be me going into it and gutting it. Gutting it down to the core aspects. Nothing more, nothing less. And I keep doing the British spelling encyclopedia. So what we need to do here is we need to clarify and simplify the resolution system. Pretty much, we need to just resolution system. Keep the D6 dice pool, but make it far more clear and easy to understand. Generally speaking, that's what we're going to be doing. We're going to be making it clearer and easier to understand. Attributes, corruption. I'm going to take put this at corruption. I'm going to put a note here, which is scrap corruption. Scrap corruption. Replace with something else. Maybe like spirit or something. I don't really have a good explanation for it. I pretty much just need to go through here and change it, because this isn't going to be Monster Girl Encyclopedia anymore. That's going to be priority one. It's like first things first. This is not going to be a Monster Girl Encyclopedia game anymore. It's going to borrow some things from it. Oh yeah, for sure. But it's not going to be a Monster Girl Encyclopedia game. That's just going to be a first things first, everybody. It is not MGA, not MGE. Actually, what I need to do is rewrite preface, and generally speaking, yeah, we're gonna probably fix up this a little bit, just make it a little bit easier. 4, 5, 6. We can probably change it to 5 and 6 to make it a little bit more complicated, but attributes completely rework. Now there is actually a particular thing here, which is what we're going to say is fuck, change everything yesterday. There we go. Now, skills are also going to get completely reworked. Completely rework the skill system. Make them broader, easier to understand, and far more, how do I want to work this? Far more open. Yeah, we're going to have to change we're going to change the skill system. That's going to be a big thing, because generally speaking, we have some of these skills are really good and some of them aren't personal skills. Rework, redo, refuck. This entire thing does not work. I need to change the entirety of the personal skills. Health. Scrap. Actually, what I'm going to do is we're going to scrap completely, and we're going to completely rework the health system. Health system far more forgiving. No death spiral. That's going to be priority numero uno. There's going to be no death spiral. That is going to be my one big thing with this one. Summer camp, fuck you. He's my ma, don't worry. No, we're doing Monster Girl Adventures. Otherwise, I was scrapping everything. We are going to change this entire fucking system from the ground up. Comment. Change this. It's going to go away. We don't need it. Now, this is where things get a little bit complicated. Probably rework entirely. Rework a bit. Big idea is the quote uncorrupted races. I'm going to need to give them a new name. That's just going to be priority numero uno. I don't know what to call them though. But generally speaking, the uncorrupted races have better skills, lower attributes, but have a thing about them, how do I want to word this? Have a quote special about them a bit more. Pretty much the idea is there's not going to be many uncorrupted, or whatever the fuck I decide to call them. They are going to be, if I put you up there, I'm going to put you right here. The best way to word this is that they are going to be dedicated heroes, otherwise known as they are going to be the protagonist. The ideal party setup is going to be the protagonist, otherwise known as the main character, who's going to be uncorrupted, and then which is going to be girl 1, girl 2, girl 3, and Girl X. Pretty much the idea of there's going to be a central character at the heart of this. Now, you may be saying, no, Pat, that sounds ridiculous. I want to play an all-human part. Then don't fucking play Monster Girl Adventures. It is called Monster Girl fucking Adventures. It's not Monster Girl. It's not a bunch of guys fight. No, that's not it. That's not what the game's going to be. Nada. Nada. Don't need it. Don't want it. It's going away. It is away. We don't want it anymore. And what do I mean by this is, like, we're going to need to focus around it. There's going to be a person that people want to actively engage with in a way, and that person being actively engaged with is important. And that's where things get hard. This is one of the important parts, because, like, again, there's not going to be Demon Lord. Like, there's going to be no Demon Lord. There's going to be no humans. Dwarves are going to need a rework. Like, all of this needs to get this fucking scrapped. Elves don't need to be here anymore. Fucking, you don't need, like, none of this needs. Hi, phone. What's up? You want to tell me something? What do you want to tell me, phone? You want to tell me that you want to go to store later? You think I would learn by now? Just turn off my phone, like, put it on, do not disturb, but I never do, because I never know when it's going to be, like, an emergency problem. So, yeah, I am incredibly, like, I am tempted to scrap everything except humans. I really am. Just make it human only, no other races, simply because it would make my life a lot easier. Havies, we don't really need Havies. But in my setting, no, fuck you, we don't need you. Yeah, like, I am... or just place them in a... There we go. Yes, tell me a Monster Girl story where the protagonist is not human and not a monster girl. Go on. I'm waiting. I can't name one. Like, it's not really a thing. Yeah, son of Matt begone you. I don't need you anymore. The corrupted races. Wow. Fuck. Go away. Everything here. Change name. Change name. Change concept. Change name. Artificial. These ones work. This is going to be kind of a let's learn what needs to be scrapped. Beast women. This is actually fine. Gonna be honest, this is fine. Why, like, diversification, I'm gonna put a note here, like, change the nature of diversification. Because, generally speaking, if you're like, I want to be something special, I want to be this and have it represent me. No, you don't. Like, no, that doesn't work. You're like, well, it works in Big Eye Small Mouth, then play Big Eye Small fucking Mouth. Demonic works. I need to change the name of them. Dragons are fuck. These ones work. Fairies, fixed size. We dedicated size system. That sounds really bad, but it's going to need a dedicated size system. Goblinoids. Harpies are fine. Flight needs a little bit of work. High undead, that needs a little bit of work. Insectoids, kind of the same thing here. Low undead, same concept. Actually, I could probably split. We'll do split between corporeal and non-corporeal. kind of like the idea between like here's a zombie and here's a ghost. Like both of them are at their core somewhat similar. They're both considered to be you know undead, but obviously a ghost and a zombie are very different. So I can kind of change things around here. Margin, we're gonna need scrap. Honestly, kind of tempted to scrap everything, like just scrap all mentions of this. I'm gonna put just a bunch of fucking question marks there. Scrap everything related to it just to make my life real simple. Just go. Also, outsiders, guess what? Go away. Fuck off, Zamitzel. Parasites, guess what? Fuck off. Don't need them. Don't want them. We're not taking them. We can probably split between Saurian and snake-like. What would you consider snake-like? Snake. I don't want to play snake, even though snake is very fun. I want to find, what would you, serpentess. There we go. I think that'll be a good idea. But yeah, just because like we have like here's the Saurians, but like here's the Lamia. Like they're mutually exclusive, but we can switch them around. I think that'll be a good idea. Slimes are fine. Slimes are okay. Don't look at that. Vampires. Because here's the weird thing with vampires are a fucking niche case, almost regulated entirely to MGE, and their logic is a vampire is someone who requires blood, requires all of that, can't really go out in the sun because they get pretty much weakened. They don't die in the sun anymore, they just get weakened in the sun. However, fears are a little bit weird because if a vampire has a child with a human, or an uncorrupted in general, again there's no other uncorrupted races except humanity in MGE. The others I literally had to come up with, or just by deduction. With that, until the damn fear the issue is, then they create a completely separate Monster Girl called Damn Fears. Damn Fears are half and half. They are the only Monster Girl in the entire setting that does work like this. They are the only ones. That technically half father's race being primarily their mother, right? Magic and corruption. Scrap and rework magic. Magic, guess what? Scrapping. Doesn't need it. Large scale spells. Scrapping it. Don't need any of these examples. Scrapping it. Magic is the only thing really sticking around here. Don't need any of that. Don't need any of that. This is literally going to be the entire thing. Elemental abilities and attacks, going to make this because my friend made this and I don't want to get rid of it. No pet on casters and marshals. Don't need any of that. Doesn't really fucking matter for what we're doing here, so we're not going to do it. Now, this is an important thing. I'm going to take all of this. We're going to select all of it. We're going to select all of this. Yeah, we got it. We did it, everybody. We're going to hit backspace. Doesn't need to be there anymore. Yeah, scrapping it entirely. Why are we scrapping corruption? It doesn't fit the fucking story we're trying to tell. Give me 1 second. Yeah, I might have just deafened somebody. There's a little thing of hair in my mic and it's driving me bonkers. But, generally speaking, Jesus, people are arguing about numbers, but corruption just doesn't work because, like, the big thing in Monster Girl Encyclopedia, corruption works on what we can best be described as wibbly wobblyism. What is wibbly wobblyism at its core? Wibbly wobbly is it works when it works. It works when it works and when the plot demands. Now, this doesn't help in actual game terms unless you put numbers behind it. But then if you put numbers behind it, you have two options. You can either go by like what the story is or what this is. Generally speaking, Monster Girl Encyclopedia, if you even get a little bit of corruption, you are monsterized very quickly. There's no chance of getting it. I remember somebody was commenting, being like, "Oh, you corrupt too fast," being like, "That's toned the fuck down, mind you. That is toned way far down from what the technical term is, which is it just happens." So, cool. Conflict. Okie dokie then. Here's the plan for conflict. Okay, are you ready for how combat works? Are you ready for this entire section? Okay, here, let me just... Here's combat. Here's me hitting backspace on it. I said, here's me selecting all of combat and hitting the backspace. What I should do is... conflict, we're gonna need... This just needs to get scrapped. Everything here needs to go away. It cannot be allowed to live. Oh, God fucking damn. Holy shit. Oh, geez. Oh, geez, Rick. If we do that, you can go away. Social combat. Social combat is going to get scrapped simply because it's going to be very simple on me. I have an idea what to replace this with, and I'm going to tentatively... No, all of you are getting scrapped, trust me. Oh, alright, here's all of this. We're going to take all of this and hit backspace on it. Doesn't need to be here. All of this doesn't need to be here. None of this matters. None of this matters in any remote possible way. Because who the fuck cares? Generally speaking, like, physical combat, this is going to be more like an exception to the rule, which is the idea of being like, this is just a thing that happens. The actual rules that are going to concern combat are going to be very minimal because it doesn't really fit the plan. The conflict resolution system is going to be that, a conflict resolution system. There is a conflict, we need to resolve the conflict. And what I'm actually even thinking about doing is something akin to, like, you know, we have physical, obviously, and then something doing like a physical combat, and then we have like adventure conflicts. Which is even something in there to say, like, physical combat is I'm going to fight you. Adventure conflicts are things that occur outside of the issue, things that occur outside of, you know, of combat. And finally, social combat is what I can probably call it. I'm thinking about calling it effectively the affection, love, and soul bonds, which is to say, the relationship mechanic. Because my core idea behind the affection system is kind of borrowing from some of the games we went over this last weekend, actually, quite a bit, with the ideas of being, if we go here, affection builds for a target. The more affection, the more quote close the two are. The two are. Everyone wants to be affectionate with the protagonist. That's the entire idea. That's the crux of the game. It's it's kind of one of those things like all roads lead to affection. That's kind of the concept. Everything about the game is building up affection, as trying to enable you to build up affection with the protagonist, because you ultimately want to be the winner, you could say. You want to be the one that the protagonist chooses because they love you and you love them. That's how that works. Now, that affection is mostly two ways. As it builds one way, you build another. However, the idea being that monster girls are going to build a hell of a lot faster than them. It's kind of the idea like they're going to fall in love with the main character faster than the main character is going to fall in love with them, and that brings conflict. I want protagonist Kun to like me. She wants protagonist Kun to like me. You like her. We are now kind of in an inadvertent conflict with one another. The members of the harem are in not liking one another because all of them want to be the winner. Now, what that looks like depends on the game we're going to be playing. If you want to play more of a harem-style game, then congratulations, that's a very valid option. This is you could say the B-plot. The underlying issue of all of whatever this version of Monster Girl Adventures is going to be this romantic subplot. I love them, they love me, someone's going to win at the end. If the protagonist is being played by a player, they can just say, fuck it, I'm gonna go stag. I am the lone hero, I am the guy, you're all such good friends, and that should be a very valid thing, because I find that funny. However, the main kind of underlying tone of the story is that, however, if you want the story to be, oh no, we gotta defeat the demon lord to save the day, that's the overplot. That's what everything, why things are occurring. We need to stop the demon lord from instigating the second monster war. And we don't want the monster war, the hero doesn't want the monster war, and we're on an adventure to stop them. Oh no, we're getting into battles, because that's what we do on this kind of adventure, but most of the time isn't going to be about conflict. It's going to be about an adventure. Or it could be, hey, the demon lord has been defeated, however, oh no, they want to try to rebuild the monster kingdom, and the hero's trying to help. And so you're all the generals of the demon lord, all lusting after Hero Kun. There we go. Congratulations, we've done it. This system should also allow you to just say fuck it, and we're doing a modern setting, for example. Combat isn't going to be important. I don't need 5,000 weapons. I don't need that. Why? Because that's not what the game's about. It's not the point. Don't need it. Don't want it. Shoo. Don't need it. Don't want it. This I'm going to kind of put over here. And I think I'm going to keep in the string system. I don't know how I want to do the string system. Very different from me want to do things. Me want to do things, but me may not be able to. Let's see, I got someone pinged me. See the video. On tomorrow is a glorified PDF version of Dark Souls, the game, 4chan edition. 4chan edition. Yeah, no, that works. That works. Save it as a PDF. Save it as a PDF though. There we go. So yeah, like this is gonna be the big thing here. Like relationship strings, I have the idea, but more it's along the lines of like, because this person likes you so much, you got a little bit of power over them, and you can burn affection for them to do something. Or because you have this affection with the person, you can do something. You're gonna get a bonus for it. It's kind of the runaway train. Like there's a strict mechanical benefit to building up your relationships. Because I have a high relationship, I am allowed to do something. Because I have a high relationship with this person I am helping, I get a bunch of rerolls. I get a bunch of bonus dice. So you have that like immediate like me want build affection because me want more money, you know, me want more dice. The unga bunga aspect is up here, that clear lizard brain aspect. Monkey brain doesn't like this usually. Monkey brain likes numbers when numbers go up. This rework, redo, everything. Because like none of this is really the important part. The entire idea mostly follows on to the concept of there is an obstacle, is that enemies are, quote, obstacles. They are, you know, they are not they are not well defined. And if you treat enemies as obstacles, you can give them a little bit more nuance, but the general idea isn't really about that. It's not about necessarily, I want to, well, I drew on my +1 sword of sorting and I need to, you know, do these 17 actions to no, don't need to do that. Not what the game is about. Honestly, it might literally just be how minions work, are going to be for every character. Like, a lot of these are going to get scrapped. Mega monsters don't need to be here. Goodbye, Mega Monster. You don't need to exist. Oh, Jesus. Oh, Jesus, it's breaking. Ah! Here, don't need it. I like these two pieces of art, don't need it. Equipment. We're gonna like simplify this down, far simpler. Far easier to understand, and which I'm going to put a note of more. Let's see, far easier to understand and more directed. This was during an era where I thought like having more options was always better. More options isn't always better. So we're going to scrap all of that. Ranged weapons, same idea. Don't need any of them. Tags, don't need any tags. Don't need it. Armor. Armor might get folded into like a dedicated like system entirely. Like, I mean, I'm probably just going to scrap all of this in general. Advancement should work. Venture creation, there we go. That should work. Monsterization. We're going to take all this and we're going to just take all this and just hit this button. Don't need it. We've scrapped, let's see, this is classic edition. The 124 pages, we've officially scrapped a little over 30 pages currently. Let's see, ordered campaigns. There's not going to really be any ordered campaigns. That's not really going to be a thing. Senpai Lovely, this is literally going to be the game, so I don't need that. Eras of Monster Girls, we can probably work a little bit deeper in it. One thing I need to do is scrap all mentions of Monster Girl Encyclopedia. Yep, scrap all mentions of Monster Girls Encyclopedia. Does not need to be there anymore. Modern Monster Girls, this is going to be an important one, which we're going to be increase comfy, reduce dread. Okay, where's Industrial Monster Girls? Increase comfy, reduce dread. The entire concept of this is that we want to reduce any mention of bad things occurring. this is like this, you know, thing, not necessarily like nothing bad happens. You know, what I mean by making the things a lot more comfy, it isn't necessarily like all mentions of bad things going on doesn't happen. No. What I mean is things are fine. There's something else causing problems. Oh no, everything is fine in, you know, Monster Girl land. Everything is fine. However, the evil empire of Draconia or whatever is being evil, and we need to stop them. The Dark Lord of Chaos and Death wants to destroy the world. We need to stop them. It's one of those things, like, it's far more of a grander threat if you want to do a grander threat kind of game, or it's this kind of like, things are okay, but maybe not the best. There are problems, but not really high. I don't know. They're either so big and so grand that they seem either impossibly huge to deal with, but they're still achieved. Like the Dark Lord of Chaos is trying to destroy reality or whatever. We can defeat the Dark Lord who can destroy reality. That's fine. We can do that. It's him causing problems. It's them causing a problem. But, like, the people who's serving it, like, they're mindless constructs who he wants to destroy the world with, or, like, they're enslaved, we have to save them. It's something like, people have a bad tendency of thinking, like, comfy means, like, it's this overly, like, cushiony, and that does play into effect. I do actually have a game which is literally dedicated to being the comfiest possible, like, very low stakes. However, you can make something that is friendlier. Something that is not like, well, everyone, here, let's talk about industrial society. No. Everything is okay, it just happens to be this. We're not going to talk about the colonialism. We're not going to talk about it. We don't need to talk about it. That isn't a part of the idea. So that's not what we have to focus on. So when we're going to comfy, we're making things as not necessarily nothing bad happens, but more along the lines of nothing bad happens in a dreadful way. Because I actually based the modern version here mostly on Centaur Worries, which Centaur Worries is actually a very good manga and you should totally fucking read. But the entire idea behind that is we're talking about things like racism. We're talking things about very overt issues affecting society with using Monster Girls and kind of the cute aesthetic as a way to talk about it. This is the one where there's an entire section effectively dedicated to what World War II was like and how we got in this situation. And the answer was things got bad, and there's mandated, like, effectively it's a very overt, like, racism is a punishable offense, and it's a scary thing. It's the Moe-talitarian state. And it's a model citizen converter. It's things like this. It's Peacekeeping Corps and things like that. Like, they make a very dedicated effort to explain the world, and that's why you should totally read Centaur Worries. It's a very good manga. Space manga, increase comfy. Reduce dread. Most of the time, these are also probably going to be converted to being like, this is kind of how you do it in this situation. Where no man has gone before, think again. Great equalizer, firearms. Guess what, everybody? We don't really need guns. Corruption effects. We don't need corruption anymore. It's literally not important, and we're not going to talk about it. Heroes are a little bit wonky, and I'm gonna put a big because what I might do is the hero is going to be one of these. This is something I might actually do. Like, the hero is going to be a cleric. The hero is going to be a magician. Like, the hero is someone above normal. they are someone excessively above what we would like to call the traditional. Also, the Higatori can we can just get rid of that. And like we can really kind of increase that. Prometheans, guess what, brother? Your sting was stupid to begin with. Fiends, beasts and no mask. Guess what, everybody? Gone. Going to keep the one-on-one here. Ultimate Destiny, just it's going to be like rework. Rework. Post fixes. That's just going to be like what that is, because these are going to get changes. I can tell you that much right now. This is a big thing that's going to change depending on how I want to do the social system. Where the snake whamming at? After gutting everything, they're probably they would be where are you? Sorry, and we got to type in sorry because I like the word sorry. And yeah, they're going to be in here. I'm going to give them their own thing. I think giving their own little entry I think would be the best option, simply due to just numbers. But aside for context, we are currently on 84 pages. We have from 124. We scrapped over 40 pages worth of content, just because it's just gone and we don't need it anymore. Variations of Monster Girls, keep, but remember to keep possibly integrate up above as a quote optional content. Kind of along the ideas, like I might keep them down here, I might not, but it's here's a different interpretation. Like, hey, you're literally spiritual creatures. The fact that you are spiritual creatures, that means you have a very different approach to things because of it. Because you are from a place called Wonderland. You are insane, effectively. This is a very different thing. Because you are lollies, because you are literal children. That's a very different thing entirely. We're just going to put that right there. We're going to find the text, strike through. None of that. Again, PG-13, baby. PG-13. Notes about running a game. This is fine. This is fine. Fire the cannon, other cannon. Let me just do wooba wooba wooba. Don't need this anymore. Well balanced diet. Don't need this anymore. Gather your party before to continue. Guess what? We don't need this anymore. There we go. Consistent consistency. Touch fluffy tail. Gonna put a note there. This was actually a pretty decent manga. Elephant in the room. We're just not even gonna deal with it. There are no monster boys. Simple as. Forbidden love. I'll keep this in here, I guess. Sliding scale of hope and hopelessness. We're going to scrap this entirely. Do not need it. Realpolitik. No. Reality raping you. I'm gonna keep that in simply because people might want to play a character like that. I'm gonna say, don't fucking do it. What now? Scrap that. Well, hope you enjoyed this game I wrote. Yep. Alright, everybody. We've scrapped what needs scrapping. So we're down to 78 pages. 78 out of 124. Like, so let's like there's entire sections which are just gone. The conflict section is now with 4 pages. Oh boy. Yeah, this is gonna be fun fixing. Some things got taken out, some things haven't gotten taken out. Oh, okay. Alright. So, in total, we scrapped, so we're at 78, let's see, we are at 78 pages now, and we're at 124. So, in total, if we do 124 minus 78, we scrapped 46 pages. 46 entire pages have been shot because they don't need them anymore. They're gone. We don't need them. We don't want them. Simple as. What I can do, though, in the meantime, hello, ball buddy, let's do heading, not heading one, we will do title, which we're going to call Monster Girl. Actually, why am I doing that? I have it up here, you mongoloid. We're going to do Monster Girl Adventures, and let's find some nice fonts. Say, I want, like, here's the thing. Here's the fun thing about Monster Girl. What I learned about actual, like, honest to God, Monster Girl Encyclopedia is this particular font is technically Arial. It's a weird variation of Arial, like that they just heavily modified. However, since we're changing things up quite a bit, we are allowed to change things. Do Fajala 1 and just have everyone lose their fucking mind. See, if I wanted to be real, we can do like 36, like Monster Girl Adventures. This doesn't seem quite right, however. Yeah, that doesn't look right. That looks fucking terrible. If it wasn't Crimson Pro, I could make it work. Georgia looks a little bit janky. Laura doesn't look terrible. I bold it. Yeah, this doesn't look terrible. We'd probably do something like this. Monster Girl Adventures. Can I increase the font size? Not much, unless... See, if I wanted to be real cursed, what I could do is... Because this is an 8.5 by 11 document, I can crunch it down a little bit. But I'm okay with Laura. It's a little bit strange, but we can do update title to match. Clever title here. That means we need to go to oh Jesus. Do that. Oh Jesus. There we go. Monster Girl Adventures. Clever title here, which we're going to instead do this. And that means we need to change you to Laura. Update title to match, which we're going to highlight this because I linked it to my fucking Twitter. And then the body font, unless we do, oh, nope, didn't mean to do that. Okay, we want to do heading 1, heading 2, heading 3, heading 4. Which we convert, we update all of these, we convert them all to normal text, which is fucking Arial, we do that. And if we do, we can keep it with Laura. Yeah, I think we can keep it with Laura, we do that. We will increase this up to 24, so heading 1. Oof. Laura, we do actually heading 2. Let's see, the other one was 24, so if we keep that at 20, keep things nice and consistent, we do that, update heading to the match, that means we can convert you to 3, we convert you to Laura, we do 1, 2, update heading 3, and then we go to heading 4, Laura, we do 14, do we do 13? No, we'll keep it at 14. There we go. Okay, all the headings are fixed. That leads to our body text issue. So we're going to go down here to the preface. Now, normally I would go with Archivo in this regard because I like Archivo, but nobody else likes Archivo, especially Google Docs. So instead... Leto looks a little bit weird in this situation. I usually like Leto. Leto sometimes doesn't like me. We already have a serif font, so we need a sans serif. Sans serif. Roboto is present. Do we want to use fucking Roboto for this? Nutino could work, but we need something a little bit more. Leto's so Montresat? No, God, not Montresat. Ugh. Ugh. See, if I hated myself, I'd do Times New Roman. However, Times New Roman doesn't quite. This still has serif on it. Verdana. Verdana's a little bit thick. Unless we change it down to like Verdana 10. Ugh. Actually, I don't hate Catamaran. Does this have serif? This is sans serif. It is sans serif. Because I know it's going to break if I don't do this. So what we'll do is update normal text to match. Now it's going to chug a little bit. We're going to hit characters' innate talents for the uncorrupted. Yeah, I think this is going to work. It's not going to be perfect, but it'll work. Hit that. Yeah, all this is Arial. Fucking Arial. We're going to select all of that. Now, what I can do is make my life excessively easy and hit the backspace button. We hit that. We go up here. We go to 100. We hit backspace. We do insert. Insert. Table of contents. 1, 2, 3. And that leads to this. We hit the update button and a lot of things go away. As you can see here, a lot of this goes the way of the dodo, and I'm okay with that. But what we can do here, and here's what we're going to do right now. Here's the Planarino. We're going to go and hit Control F. We're going to find Monster Girl Encyclopedia. So we're going to find everything that is relevant. So that we need to, let's see, Monster Girls, traditional monster, we'll say traditional Monster Girl settings. Assume it's relative medieval swords are practical, churches powerful, incestuous peasants are ever present. Then we go down. Deep exciting lore of Monster Girl Encyclopedia. Yeah, that's how we do things. Let's see. I'm gonna put a red note right there. I don't actually mention it too often, which is okay to me. Which we're gonna type in MGE space. So, modern Monster Girl. So, let's see. The thing of the galaxy brain equation of men. There are few. Oh, Jesus, Christmas Christ! I'm gonna have to rewrite all of these, aren't I? Man's gonna need to rewrite this entire fucking game because I made a mistake. But yeah, I think we've got a good setup here, which is to say we've scrapped literally fucking everything. Like, there is very little, like, I am keeping the basic concepts effectively of Monster Girl Adventures. But again, if you ever want to play in the original, you can play in Monster Girl Adventures Classic Edition. That's what it's going to be called. It's going to be Classic Edition. What I might call it here is like a different edition. Like, I don't know, like a Comfy Edition, like a Fluffy Tail Edition. Like something like that. Just like, here's like a clear, like, here's Classic Edition and here's the right edition. Like, I don't really have a good name for that. If you have a good name, please leave it somewhere that I can see it, and I will do it. And I will probably put it in because I am terrible at name. Yeah, Fluffy Tail sounds like a furry game. See, the worst part is that it does actually have. Let's see. Touch Fluffy Tail is actually from Monster Girl Quest. And I'm probably going to get hardcore pornography here. No, thankfully, no. It's from, specifically, this character. This is from Monster Girl Quest, and she has an attack, which is touch fluffy tail. Which that's the entire idea, that you want to touch her fluffy tail. She does kill you with it, by the way. She does, don't get that wrong, she does kill you with it. However, when people say touch fluffy tail, there's a distinct reason. It is a very associated with Monster Girl isms, so hence why I wouldn't be too flustered about changing it to that. I wouldn't be like too concerned. You are correct, Ironside. You are correct. Usually, and the problem is they happen at the same time. We don't talk about that aspect. Monster Girl Quest is a little bit weird, everybody. I don't think people quite remember how weird Monster Girl Quest can get. Lucas suffers for very good reasons. But yeah, this is a very, like, what the fuck? What is this even? Oh yeah, this was my, oh yeah, this was my, like, entire notes for the enslaved section. Which I was, like, trying to, like... Yeah, so it... Yeah, like, this is my notes to Enslaved Anon, because Enslaved Anon was... That's when I actually thought Enslaved Anon was doing something relatively decent, and not just having a schizophrenic meltdown. Cool, yeah. The design document. Okay, we don't need any of you anymore. Let's just cut this. Yeah, we can cut you. We'll cut you. Like, generally speaking, this is the most bare minimum thing. Here's what I'm actually going to do. Monster Girl Adventures Classic. So we're going to select all of this. We're going to hit that button. Monster Girl Adventures Classic. MGA CS. There we go. Talks more about Monster Girl Quest than any other. I don't know why you go to... Oh, no, Vor. Well, the thing is, he didn't call himself that. He called his setting the enslaved setting because the entire idea was that the monsters were enslaving monster girls. That was the entire idea behind it. And a little bit weird, not gonna lie, it was a little bit weird, but it was like no weirder than the guy who was converting the entirety of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay 2nd Edition to it, or any weirder than the guy who... or any weirder than the guy who was like the cosmic horror Monster Girl setting. That was weird. I didn't understand that one. Or like Philario, when like it was no different, but the problem was like he was like, I don't think, here's the weird thing with him. I genuinely do not know what was Enslaved Anon's issue, because he got weird at points, and he got real weird, like uncomfortably, like this guy has issues that I don't think we're getting the full story about, or he was fucking with us. But that was the thing, like it went far too long for it to be just simply fucking with a single board, a single thread. It went on far too long for that. That my friend is the core issue. But yeah, okay, so we know what the plan is for at least Monster Girl Adventures, whatever the fuck this is going to be. So yeah, clever title here. I think I'm feeling okay about it. It's literally just going to be me having to grind. It's going to be a grind set. Let's check out TG. Is there anything of value on TG right this now? right this second. Anything interesting. Please, God, I'm begging anybody. There's gotta be something, right? Gee, oh, new Outsider. Yay, new Outsider comic. Yay, everybody clap. I'm happy. Comic that has been going on for literal years. And very, very quiet though. This got bumped again. Jesus. Okay, alright everyone, we're gonna play a little game here. This is Sluggun. Sluggun is a cool dude. He made this. This is the popular franchise of tabletop RPGs. Do I fully agree with all of his decisions here? Absolutely not, because he puts a lot of 5e stuff in there. He puts a lot of like very odd, he doesn't really put dedicated games in there. He sometimes puts like board games and like a lot of 5e stuff, or it's like, oh, here's a hero, like stat blocks for other games. It's a little bit weird, but I understand like why. I understand the logic behind it. Cool idea, cool thing. Everything you want right here. Neato burrito. This is awesome. Like, all right, coolio. I like it. I like it. However, if we go here, this is the thread that pops up every now and again. You get a lot of questions like this. Or was it? Like, you get a lot of like these weird ass questions. What's the best system for playing a sapient dragon and why? What do you suggest for a Del Toro game? What was the other one? Like, what's the best for playing with Magic's utility ultimately revolve around controlling time? And it'll get setting based on the Epic of Gilgamesh. How would you work for a Ninjala game? And it usually follows the same beats. What would work for X game? For those unfamiliar, it's set in a world where X, Y, and Z occurs. And then someone says it's based. Sounds based to me. Sounds wow, always based. Cool. It's based picture. You're based. I'm getting like, you have the one guy who keeps trying to do like fucking Owl House. I don't know what the fuck Owl House is. I know it's a cartoon with like little children in it, and I'm like, what the fuck? Franchise game thread is it's booming. Yeah, it's bump bag. Like I thought I was having like, I didn't believe in bump bag before. I thought people were just going. I thought people were being a little bit wacky here. I was like, yeah, you guys are weirdos. You guys believe that there's like some ulterior motive or whatever to someone asking a stupid question. No, there isn't. Everything is fine. And then I saw it with my own eyes. And then it was like, oh. It was like, oh no. Oh no. Just the absolute horror of it all, which is like, he's real. Like what the fucking ninja? Like, I've never heard of this. Who fucking cares? Who wants this? One dude, but it's and the thing is, like, it's usually like the very consistent same ones that always get asked about. Always Owl House. I don't get Owl House. Can somebody explain to me what the fuck Owl House is all about? Didn't it get canceled or something? Yeah, it's like one of those things where I sit back and I'm like, what the fuck? I'm not going insane either. I'm not insane. However, I might be a little bit crazy. I might be a little bit nuts. I don't know if I'm going completely bonkers yet. But yeah. I think I'm going to call it there for today. Why am I calling it so early? Because I don't want to deal with it. Now, for a note, relatively soon here, introducing the pageless format. No. Now, for Corey's sake, there is going to be a Notocracy is going to be occurring here soon. probably in the middle of next week, I'm going to put it up. I have a couple ideas. I have some of the games already kind of set up. If you have any ideas or have anything that you'd like to be recommended right now, now's the time to tell me, because that's where I'm going to start putting things up. Let's just say that. I'm going to start putting things up there for the purpose of what's going to be selected, what isn't going to be selected. Currently, I have, I think 5. I probably can get like 2 more. If I get like 2 more of them, I'd be a little bit happy. But that's kind of a, if it happens, it happens. So, I'm going to end it there for today. Thank you all for watching. This has just been me deleting shit and explaining my reasoning, but that's fun. If you have any suggestions for games to be put on the list, now's the time to tell me. I don't have any war games, unfortunately, this time around. I don't really have any good solid ideas. Trenchfoot kind of burnt me out a little bit, like my ideas for war games, so if you have something to worry about, you have something to think about, tell me! I am always open for suggestions. Always posted in the drinking lounge, of course, but I am always open for suggestions. So, thank you all for watching. My name is Enslaved Anon. Hope you have a wonderful rest of your day. On Friday, we're going to be what's that fucking game called? What's that game called? Fires Far Away is going to be posted. That's going to be it. I want a war game with 3D movement. Technically, there's a fucking D&D war game that does that. Like, 3D movement is always complicated in war games because it's usually just like a little dial you have to worry about. That's usually all it boils down to. Like, you have a height of 3. You have a height of 4. Hey. Yeah, I got a few ideas. It's mostly boiled down to like me sitting there just like staring at documents being like, what do people really want? But yeah, thank you all for watching. My name is Nopem. I will see you all later. Godspeed, good luck. You know the rest of the drill.